Hello, everyone, and welcome once again to my channel. It is your boy Luis Portelles, and for today's video, we have a very juicy one because we're going to be talking about some of the major changes that Miss Universe has been introducing as an organization. And I have to tell you, this morning when I opened my social media, I was gagged, I was gooped because there's just so much going on. So I'm gonna tell you this video. It's all about the national franchises for Miss Universe and how the organization is making changes not only to its fees model, but also to the structure of the organization and the members that are working with Miss Universe pretty much. So of course, as you know, I will always give you my opinion and my own take on every single one of these things, but simultaneously this is something that affects pretty much everyone in the pageant community. So I want to hear what you guys have to say in the comment section down below, of course. And if you enjoyed the video, find some sort of value, you already know what to do. Hit the like button, subscribe, and all of those goodies. So I'm not gonna keep you waiting much longer. Let me bring up to you the first thing. If you have not been on social media, I just know that some of you are gonna be just as um, gagged or shocked as I was myself. So here's the deal. Here we go. All right. So, based on this image that I saw this morning on the Sash Factor International Instagram page, you can see that the Miss Universe Indonesia franchise it is no longer with Putri Indonesia. For me personally, this is a huge shock because not only I think that Putri Indonesia has been doing an amazing job at producing the national contest in Indonesia, but at the same time, they have had such a long relationship with Miss Universe and such a cordial relationship with Miss Universe. I think that Indonesia is one of those countries that invites the Miss Universe winner every single year to Indonesia. So that just that just says a lot about how much they care and how much they get involved in the organization. So honestly, although being part of the pageant industry myself, I do understand that franchises and all of these licenses are things that can be renewed, and every single not every single year, but very often, like every now and then, you get to bid for the franchise. I was not expecting Miss Universe to give the rights to hold the national pageant to someone else in such a sudden way, if that makes sense. Usually you know about the process and then you expect the outcome of whether or not they're going to keep the license or if it's going to someone else. Well, let me tell you that this is only the tip of the iceberg, because if I was shocked when I saw this news, I was actually double shocked when I saw the next one. And that is that Indonesia is not the only country that is currently in the negotiations process. The same thing is happening as of right now to Miss Universe Malaysia. The last thing that I saw on social media is that we are not so sure just yet who the franchise holder for Malaysia is. We know that there is a new national director. I don't have the name right now, but I will link it in the comment section down below or in the description box. So double check for that information if you are curious. But to me, what this says is like, why suddenly these two countries, Indonesia, Malaysia, are looking for new franchise holders when in reality there seem to be no problem at all with the entire model of these national pageants in their respective countries. Well, it seems like Mama Ann has an entire plan for Miss Universe, and I'm not just talking about Indonesia and about Malaysia. But actually, here is an email that was sent to national directors and franchise holders from all over the world who are involved with Miss Universe. So I'm just going to put this full screen so that we can just talk about it, and I'll be back on the screen shortly after. So as you can see, this is pretty much they're reminding the acquisition of the Miss Universe organization by the JKN Global Group, and they do mention that as of right now they are implementing an effort to kind of reevaluate the franchise fees and the people that they do business with, and pretty much everyone has to send their own pitch to see if they get to keep the franchise for their national countries, their national pageants. Now, one thing that is really interesting for me is that they mentioned that they have to send their highest bid in order to keep the franchise, and that if the bid that they propose does not align with the market in the countries that they come from, then in that case, the Miss Universe organization has the right to automatically decline their request. Now, this is very revealing because I saw a lot of people, and this is where I want to hear you guys' opinion. A lot of people were saying that this is actually a money grab from Miss Universe, that they want to just maximize revenue for the organization. And I'm going to be fully transparent. Like, I kind of understand where this is coming from. I mean, Anne herself opened her pockets and gave away $20 million for the entire organization. And she has been extremely transparent about the fact that she wants the organization to be profitable. She wants this to be a business that not only gives charity and has like a philanthropy path, but that also makes money. We have been talking about Miss Universe bags, we have been talking about Miss Universe water, and I'm sure that this is just the beginning of many many products to come. I think that there is a Miss Universe makeup line in the talks as well. So this is just the beginning, and of course, to make all of those things come true, what do you need? You need money. But at the same time, what it means is that, let's say I am the holder of the Miss Universe Cuba franchise, right? And every year I'm paying $10,000 for the rights to have the franchise and use that name, right? To use the brand of Miss Universe. Well, if there is someone who also wants to get the Miss Universe Cuba franchise, both of us have to bid, and whoever bids more, the franchise pretty much automatically goes to them. Now, the danger with this model is that the franchise might just go to someone who happens to have the money, but at the same time doesn't really care that much about the organization. And I think that this is where Miss Universe needs to be like really, really careful. I do understand the fact that they want the franchises to be with people who not only have the funds that they can put it behind the organizations and the national pageants, but I also think it's important to have the licenses and the franchises with people who are able to make it relevant. One of the biggest issues that we talk about in pageantry is that for majority of general population, pageants are not relevant anymore. When I'm in Canada and I talk about pageantry, like everyone just goes like, why do you watch that? It's like reductive, it's like objectifying women. And I feel like most people don't even know what pageantry is all about because it's just irrelevant in today's societies. And I'm talking about most of the Western countries. I feel like in Asia, Latin America, a lot of the countries have a better understanding of what pageantry is for. um, so I think that it's a double-edged sword, uh, because yes, of course, by giving the franchise to someone who has the funds to put, to pay such a fee, most likely that person also has the power and the influence to, have articles in the media, to have the title holders do, more activities and be a little bit more present and more relevant in their countries. I hope that this is the logic and the thinking behind the entire process of selection. Now, of course, this is also a little bit sad for all of the organizations and franchise holders that have been, making business with Miss Universe for the longest time. I think that, some of these people have had the franchise for years, and I'm talking about 10 years, 20 years, some of them even more than that. So suddenly to wake up one day and have this email saying that, as of next Friday, you might or might not be the new franchise holder. So just send your bid and tell us how much money can you give us. It must be a little bit heartbreaking, especially as I said earlier, nowadays in our world and the current state of society, pageants are not super relevant, and therefore pageants are not super profitable. Ever since I've been traveling around and visiting, a lot of different pageants and getting to know not only the candidates but also the national directors, you realize that a lot of people do this out of passion. This is just something that they love to do, and they just genuinely put money into it because they believe in it. Um, Very often these are entrepreneurs, or these are people who have like businesses, and the revenue is not coming from pageants. So I also think that it is a lot to ask from people to make their highest bid, to give, as much money as they possibly can, when in reality most of these people are not going to have a return in investment. Now, one of the things that Anne does mention during the letter that was sent to national directors, it is that this money that will be raised, through the entire bidding process and the new franchises, is actually going to go back to seeing how the organization can support national franchises to be more profitable, to be more successful. So I think that what I like about this is that it's not only a one-sided effort, right? Of course, Miss Universe wants to grow, Miss Universe wants to expand and be more relevant, but simultaneously they do understand that for the international organization to grow, the national organizations also need to be able to thrive. So I'm glad that they still keep that in mind. Now, of course, this is just what is going around on social media. Everyone is freaking out. But I will say this, there is an interview that was revealed also earlier where Anne is talking about all of the changes and the fees and the franchises and all of that. And one of the things that she mentions is that this might not be a process that is open to everyone, meaning that if I am a franchise holder, they will give me the opportunity to bid first and just see, like, already within the national directors group and franchise holders, who is able to pay more for it. And then whoever is able to do that, then they get the franchise. So it wouldn't be one of those situations where you're pretty much against everyone in the country. I guess that the Miss Universe organization still wants to go with someone that they know, that they trust, and that will elevate and respect the brand of Miss Universe. So those were my 2 grains of salt when it comes to this entire thing. But it's not over yet because, of course, there was also a new announcement recently. Actually, this is January 31st, if you guys can see it, and actually introduced new members to the Miss Universe team. This is mainly for, I mean, pretty much for New York and Thailand, the two home bases and head offices of Miss Universe as an organization. So, of course, we are seeing that Miss Universe, it is not only changing, but also is growing in terms of number of employees and the roles that are being offered by the organization. Of course, when you think about it, right, an organization that is growing, that is expanding, this is good. Usually that's like a positive sign. But a lot of people have already started complaining and saying that this is an effort from the new management of the organization to replace previous employees and take the organization, the direction somewhere else. I don't know if this might be an indicator of that, but recently, I mean, just before I went live, I saw these headlines, and this is that Carlos Capetillo, who normally is the person that you need to contact at Miss Universe to become a national franchise holder, has resigned from the organization. So, in your opinion, what does that mean? Do you think that, you know, was Carlos politely asked to resign himself, or do you think that he is maybe not? Um, he doesn't, his values don't align with what is going on behind the scenes with Miss Universe and the new process to select franchise holders, so he resigned. I don't know, but I just know, based on all of the things that are coming out, that we are going to see major changes when it comes to Miss Universe, especially in the upcoming years. I feel like already the edition that we're going to have in 2023 in El Salvador is going to be a lot more grander than what we had in January. And this is only going to grow from here. I do think that there are things that need to be done from a business perspective in order to make more revenue, because as it is right now, I don't think that Miss Universe is really a profitable business, and that they're not exploiting the brand to the fullest, you know. And there's nothing wrong with that. Some people want Miss Universe and international pageants to just be about charity, but in order to give back, you need to make money. You need to have the funds. So I'm not upset at Anne for having this approach. I just hope that they're careful with the people that they choose to work with, and that, you know, they're able to be selective to keep the candidates' best interest at heart, and that we don't lose the essence of the organization. What do you think? Some people are saying that Paula, Shugart, and Amy should be scared. I don't know what their roles will look like in the future, but in my opinion, I think that honestly, Anne will put Paula, maybe even Amy. She will ask them to focus on the Miss USA pageant, because if you guys remember everything that happened last year at Miss USA, not only with the contestants and the entire, you know, it's rigged drama, but also with Crystal Stewart and, you know, all of those things going on. So let me know, what do you think the future looks like for Miss Universe? I think that it's definitely going to be more of a business model, and it's going to be more of a profitable organization that will continue to empower women and uplift women while also securing the bag. But anyways, the conversation is now open. You guys go down in the comment section. I will be reading you. Thank you for joining, and I will see you soon with a lot more content. All right. Bye now.